Hi guys, this is Sharon at Life with the Tribe. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In case you don't know much about me, I am a homeschooling mom. I have 10 children ages 18 down to 1, and my 18-year-old is of course graduated from our high school and taking college classes now. So I guess technically I can't include her in my homeschool count, right? So, but again, thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to share with you some of our October homeschool favorites. And this is, I'm joining in an open collab with Full-Time Wife Life. I'll make sure to link that down below so that you can check out her October favorites and other people's October favorites for homeschool as well. So when I was thinking about joining in with this open collaboration on homeschool favorites, I was kind of torn on if I had really anything to share. But once I got to thinking about it, I realized I really did have a favorite. Now, if you ask my children if they're their favorites, their answer might be different, but they are definitely my favorites. So my first favorite has to do with this, Jane Austen's Persuasion. We actually, during our morning time, I kind of call it just the gathering, but morning time, morning basket, whatever, time on Wednesdays, we read from, we're reading right now from Persuasion. And so at first it wasn't really, people weren't really excited about it, particularly my almost 16-year-old son was not exactly thrilled. But we do it every Wednesday for about 15-20 minutes. I read from Persuasion, and now it has really caught on. And so as soon as my children find out that it's Wednesday, my younger ones, everybody's like, Wednesdays with Austen, you know, so it's like a little joke around the house. I've told them I want a shirt that says, you know, hashtag Wednesday with Austen to wear every Wednesday. So we've actually gotten into the story, and we're enjoying it immensely. And I do read aloud, and I have at home, my oldest person who is home is my son, who's almost 16, down to my 1-year-old, and we're all in there for the gathering and stuff. So they all listen to me read it. Normally the 1-year-old, I'm rocking him for his morning nap at this point of the day. And so you would think, how can you read that to those different ages, right? They all listen. I buy the adult coloring books. I pick those up like if I find them on clearance, marked down, on sale, coupons, things like that. And on Wednesdays, and only on Wednesdays, during our Wednesday with Austen, they get one coloring sheet. And they know that that is just, they get it for just the reading of Persuasion right now. And so if they don't finish it, they save it for the next Wednesday and they finish it then. And so it's really a big deal for my younger ones to get this really beautiful coloring sheet from Mama's coloring book to use. And so that keeps their hands busy so they can listen. And do they understand everything? No, but they are following this basic storyline. Even my 5-year-old daughter can, you know, tell you different things that she remembers from the previous reading of Persuasion. And of course my older ones who are almost 12, 14, and almost 16, they're really the main audience for this reading and stuff. And so of course, you know, they're following the detailed storyline. It is a bit of a twofold kind of deal, because not only am I presenting this wonderful quality literature of Austen to them, but I'm getting to read it myself because I have not read Persuasion yet. And so this kind of doubles my time. So my to read list grows daily, and so to be able to fit everything in that I want to read can be challenging. So I got kind of sneaky with Wednesdays with Austen. So it's a favorite for me. I look forward to Wednesdays when we can read this because Austen, she's funny, she's very witty, and I enjoy reading it, and I enjoy sharing it with my children because I have read aloud since my oldest, who is 18. Of course, I read to her all the time, but I started reading chapter books when she was like 3 or 4. So I have had many years of reading to my kids, and it's just the shared experience of stories that we share is wonderful, and so I want to share these too. And so it's definitely a favorite for me. So I challenge you, moms, if you read aloud to your kids, and you should, if you read aloud to your kids, don't be scared to pick something a little challenging, even for your younger ones. You'll be surprised at what they can pick up. And we're having great fun with Austin on Wednesdays. I look forward to it. It is my favorite. I'll have to poll the kids later and ask them what their favorite thing right now for homeschool is and see what they say, but my guess is it's not gonna be Austin. So anyway, hey, feel free to steal my Wednesdays with Austin and make it a part of your homeschool week too. I bet you'll love it. So that's my first favorite. You will be shocked to know that my second favorite for homeschool stuff in October is another book. I read a lot, people. So my second favorite is Golden Boy by Tara Sullivan. I can't remember if I posted about this I don't think I've posted about this in a video. I did post about it on my Facebook page, Life with the Tribe on Facebook. I did post about it there. I read a year or two ago, I can't remember exactly, I read The Bitter Side of Sweet by Tara Sullivan. She wrote this. So The Bitter Side of Sweet. And it was all about, I'm just going to butcher the young boy's name, so I'm not even going to try. But it's about these two brothers who are basically slaves in modern day on the Ivory Coast, working in the cocoa fields, harvesting the cocoa pods, and they're enslaved. And it's about their experience there and how they try to escape. And it was just a really powerful story. I guess it was just amazing. And so I read it, and then my daughter, now 14, she read it. So she was 12 or 13 when she read it. I don't know. So then I thought, a few weeks ago, I was like, what else has she written? And she actually wrote Golden Boy before she wrote The Bitter Side of Sweet. So I got the Golden Boy and I started it. I'd read like a chapter, but I was busy, just didn't have time. And so my son asked if he could read it because he didn't really have anything to read. I said sure, and so he read it, and then he gave it to me, and he's like, you gotta read it. It's like really good. So for him to say the book was good and that I really needed to read it, that's a pretty powerful recommendation. He reads a lot of weird fantasy stuff, but the books that he loves, the books that he wants to own, are like Boys in the Boat, Unbroken, the Little Bridges series by Ralph Moody. Books like that are what he goes back to again and again. So when he said that he really enjoyed Golden Boy, I knew it was probably going to be good. And so I read it, and then when I finished, I gave it to my daughter, who is 14. And it is a powerful story. It's about this young boy, I guess it's Haba, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I really need a pronunciation guide for names. But it's set in Africa, and they end up traveling. They live in this small farming village, and they end up having to leave and go to Tanzania. And I'm just going to say Habo, and if I'm totally crushing that name, someone please correct me. So Habo and his family moved to Tanzania, and Habo is albino. And in Tanzania, modern day, right now, in Tanzania, this book was set in modern day, albinos are hunted and murdered or mutilated because the body parts of those suffering from albinism is used in witchcraft. It's supposed to be good luck charms. So they pay for body parts, they'll pay for the whole corpse, and it's just shocking. So it's about this young boy, Hobo, who ends up in Tanzania, and he is hunted because he's an albino. And the story is about not just his struggle to get away to safety, but his struggle to accept himself for how he is. And stuff. And so it's this, and he ends up befriending this elderly gentleman, and their relationship is just really beautiful, how it kind of progresses and grows. And it is the golden boy is classified as young adult because the hunting of Hobo, it is a little, not horrendously graphic, but it's powerful to think of this person who is being hunted because their body parts are considered good luck charms in witchcraft and stuff. And so it was amazing. And so my son read it, and I read it, and my daughter read it, and then my 12-year-old daughter read it because I talked to her about what the book was about, and at first she didn't really want to read it, and then she decided that she did. And there's no language, there's no sexual content. The young adult rating is just for the nature of what's happening to this young boy. And so those three kids and I read it, and we had some great discussion on the story, on the struggle of albinos in Tanzania, of just that's modern day. You wouldn't think that people today are being hunted for body parts. It just really blew the mind. It just really hit my 14-year-old hard. So we did a little bit of research. We pulled up some articles about some Tanzanian children who came over to the U.S. to receive care to get prosthetic limbs made because they had arms cut off, they'd had fingers cut off, teeth pulled, so people could sell them and use them for good luck charms. Today, little children, 6, 7, 8 years old, to adults, and Tara Sullivan recounts actual stories that are true, that in her book, about like a man who was just butchered in front of his family in the village that he grew up in, so people could have his body parts. It leaves you speechless and heartbroken and devastated. And so not only did we talk about that, but then it just led on to discussion of just other things about the sanctity of life. When is life considered worth saving? Today it's albinos in Tanzania being murdered or mutilated for their body parts, and tomorrow, what will it be? And not just in that area, not just in that part of the world, but just here in America. What life is worth saving? What value do we place on people based on how they look or what they can contribute to? I could just get on my little soapbox and just go forever. So I need to just stop rambling. But The Golden Boy by Tara Sullivan is definitely a favorite read for October. It was a powerful, heartbreaking story that opened up my eyes and my children's eyes to an area of the world that we would have remained oblivious to. And that's one of the reasons that we read the books that we read, and that's why I let my children read hard books, and we talk about hard things, because we live in our little country area, surrounded by fields, in our own little homeschool bubble, and there is so much of the world that we don't see and that we are not aware of. And I think it's important for our children to know that we don't live in a little, happy America world, that there are so many, outside of our sphere that are just suffering and living lives we couldn't imagine. There's places of beauty, and there is just places of devastation, there's places of hope, you know, and so we've just had great discussion, and now we pray for the people of Tanzania because we understand, or we are aware of this great, horrendous practice that is going on. And if we hadn't have picked up this book and read it, I would have I've never seen a news article about this. You know, I've never seen, you know, a video pop up on Facebook about this practice in Tanzania. So had we not read this book, we would have been ignorant of this. And so definitely a October homeschool favorite, because it's just a reminder of the importance it is, the reason why we read the literature that we do, because it allows us to expand our world, to expand our view, to gain understanding and compassion for other things that are going on. So I highly recommend Golden Boy by Tara Sullivan and also her book The Bitter Side of Sweet. Both are great for your teens to read and for you to read. You definitely, if you wanted to go younger than teens, you need to know your children and what they can handle. So those were my October homeschool favorites. Hey baby, he wakes up every time. So those are my homeschool favorites for October. Be sure that you swing by Full-Time Wife Life and check out her October homeschool favorites. I think she also is hosting a giveaway in her October favorites video. And check out the playlist for what other October homeschool favorites other moms had. And I'll be back soon with hopefully a not crying baby. Thanks so much for stopping by at Life with the Tribe. See you next time.